Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our live play of the Great American Novel role-playing game. We had a little issue at the start where I was having some difficulty with some connectivity, but we got that resolved rather quickly. You just won't see my ugly mug as much this time around. When last our characters met, the heroes were getting ready to gather for a seance, and tonight's episode leads us to that very spooky moment. Please enjoy.
Loud.
Okay.
And we're connected and recording as of this very moment. Hello to
Sweet.
our millions of listeners, our millions of viewers.
Hello, and welcome to the Great American Novel.
I was actually kind of surprised we actually hit about 50 viewers on that so far. So,
My mom watched it 30 times.
did you say, "Oh Lord"?
I did. I did.
Well, I've committed myself to having at least 60% less ums this time around. I listened to that thing and it was like,
I couldn't even listen to all of it, but it wasn't because of the ums. I was just like, nope, off.
It's good to have a record because that really helps plan for this. So you run it and then you kind of, unless you're really making solid notes throughout the whole thing, you will kind of forget things.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nice to have that.
Yeah, there's some things that I didn't remember that I did.
Oh, go ahead, Dana.
No, I was just going to say I did take a few notes after watching part of it because I didn't catch everything.
Well, where we had left it last time was the group had approached Bill to potentially utilize the place that he's squatting to a little Seance. And we had kind of left it there at Buck's Tavern. And for the record, Julius, I misspoke, I think, during our last session. And I think that I was saying that it was Zeke that was the bartender. It's actually Buck. So we'll get that straightened up right now so that we know whose tavern it is that we are actually going to when we decide to drink. So at this point, Dana, I think you had created a special passageway for us through the cave that is behind the blacksmiths to be able to get up to Bill's not with Bill because he's got to be able to get his horse back up there, and he certainly can't take the horse through the cave.
I was thinking about that.
Bill, you're going to have to take him. Does your horse have a name?
Probably, yeah.
His name,
Clyde.
Your horse's name is probably?
Clyde. Probably.
Thought he was riding through the desert on a horse with no name.
I call him probably for short.
Actually, that would make a pretty decent racehorse name. Probably Clyde. Who's going to win? Probably Clyde.
Probably Clyde. 4 links.
So I think we probably ought to start with old Bill. And you guys have got several hours before you would actually have to head into the cave to visit with Bill tonight. You were talking about having the actual seance probably at midnight, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Christy?
Right. Yep.
Okay. So I would assume you would probably want to head that way somewhere around 10 o'clock or so. Is that what you guys were thinking, or were you wanting to go later, earlier?
Well, we were supposed to be going for dinner, right?
Yeah.
Like a picnic?
Oh, yeah.
I think
Okay.
that,
There were
I
promises.
don't
Yeah.
think
We,
I don't think
yeah,
we're
the only
talking
people.
about a seance.
So
yet. I think
So
just
just
dinner.
right after dark.
Probably like 8 or 9, I think.
Okay. So what time
Probably-
do you want to head up there? Around 8 o'clock?
We might want
That's
it
about
to
supper
be,
time.
yeah, after dark for sure, in case eyes are watching and seeing large groups of people leaving town together. Maybe.
All right, you tell me. Just let me know what time you want to go up.
They'll probably not necessarily see you guys going into the Scooby-Doo cave. And they'll probably just focus on me riding out of town again, I would think. So let's you want to call it 8 o'clock?
Fuck.
All right.
And then, Bill, is there anything that you want to do still in town before you head back up? It's probably around 6 p.m. at this point.
Not really. I just wanted to get the lay of the land and just kind of see what was going on and see if there was any other immediate trouble after the funeral. So I've got with all my trips to the store, I've got everything I need right now. So I think really if everybody's getting ready to head up there, it would probably make sense for me to head back up, on Clyde probably, and head up the road.
Okay. Once you leave the tavern, you can see, a lot of the people in town that are kind of heading into the tavern, into the gambling hall. There's a kind of a little cafe there on the main strip as well, and they're kind of heading towards dinner themselves at this time around 6. And some of them just heading home to fix dinner at home and so forth. And you hop on Clyde, start heading back towards the general store, and it curves around to the hill ranch. It's around the corner general store is, and I've got the map right here where you see number 10 there. That's the general store and post office.
Are you sharing your screen?
Maybe I'm not.
Yeah,
Hang on a
yeah.
second. Sorry.
Is he cutting out to you guys too?
Yeah, he's cutting
Yeah.
out. Yeah, Chris, you're cutting out a little bit. I don't know if you can improve your internet
Oh, am I?
location or quality in any way. And we can still kind of pick up the gist,
Oh.
but you're going in and out quite a bit.
Okay. I'll try to do this quickly, and then I'll get back to the main screen.
But you were cutting out on the main screen too, just to let you know.
Oh, I was? Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Do you see the scene?
Yes.
Okay, so 10 here. That store and post stop store here office right here, coming here. You pass side road in this area. You're stopped by a pair of fellas.
Did he completely disappear for everybody else?
Yeah, can't hear you,
so.
Chris. We kind of don't really know what you're talking about too. I think we're just getting like little pieces of information, which is interesting.
Yeah, I've gathered that I'm accosted by a couple of fellas outside of the post office-y area.
Okay, so is this better? Can you hear me better
Yeah.
now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll try to do this without having to go to that other screen. As much as I really like that screen. It's looking like I may not be able to share that very well. So you've got two guys that are going to try to stop you here a little bit. It's Ethan Wood, and I just happen to have printed these little guys out. So this fellow right here.
He looks mean.
And Bush Watley. And they are also on horseback, and they kind of were just waiting around the corner there of the general store. And Ethan is the one that speaks up first, and he says, "Hey, feller, hold it right."
You locked up again.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, this sucks.
You may just have to turn.
Last time it...
Go ahead.
You can try to turn your video off. Sometimes that helps.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. Let's stop video. Okay. Let's see if that works.
Yeah, sounds good now.
Okay. So anyway, Ethan says, "Hey, feller, hold it right there."
Can I help you guys?
You're kind of new around these parts here, aren't you?
I've been staying up the hill for a while now.
Up the hill? Whereabouts?
Not that it's any of your business, but up at the Ghost Ranch.
Well, sir, I'm afraid it is my business. So you don't actually live around here. You just been staying up around that Ghost Ranch place?
Well, I've been living there. Yes.
What's your name? What's your name, boy?
It's Bill.
Bill what?
No, it's Bill McLean.
Bill McLean. But you're not from the town, right?
No.
How long you been up there?
Long enough to see what's going on.
Oh, and what exactly is going on?
You guys friends with Roland Hazard?
Yeah. He's one of our boys.
Well, if you need to know who I am, why don't you ask him? And if you don't mind, I'll be on my way back up to camp.
Well, I think I might just do that. Safe travels now.
Good night.
And they let you
Continue on
go.
just a slow trot up the road.
Okay. They let you pass, but they stay right where they are and just watch you go until you disappear over the hill. So we'll cut back to the rest of the crew back at the tavern. Is there anything that you all want to do before you make way to your own personal abodes to prepare to traverse the canyon or the cavern?
Well, I think we should probably make a stop, but if we're going to have we offer dinner to folks. Do we arrange who would make the dinner, where they would make, where the dinner would be made? I can't remember.
I kind of feel like you were volunteering that, but
well, is there any kind of fine restaurant in town that we could go to, that we could get sort of a takeout order from?
Fine restaurant, probably not, but there is kind of a mom and pop cafe that's on the main strip there, and at Buck's Tavern, he does serve food there as well.
Okay, well, maybe with a stop at the general store, and combined with like sort of a takeout order from Buck's Tavern, we can put a little. I think we promised some wine, so we'll pick some of that up too. Maybe just buy it at Buck's Tavern. We could, I think, assemble a couple picnic baskets to take up there before we go. I'd say that needs to get done.
Sure. Okay. Yep, that sounds good. So you take a little while to put that together. Is that going to be you and Lillian, or Lillian, did you have anything that you needed to do before heading up there?
I do need to go back to the hotel where I think I'm being put up to get my things. I have a kit that I travel with. And did you say that the general store is one of the places in town that has a telegraph?
It does, yes, but it can only be used at certain hours of the day. And I believe you have missed that mark for the day. I got to look and see exactly what times those are.
But if something did come for me, I would find out whenever I happened to go to the general store, I suppose. So I don't mind accompanying Julius to help pick up things, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes, if the Crimson and Coyote gang have not confiscated said telegram, yes, you could check there for any messages that you might have.
I'd be happy to go accompany you there as well, to check as well. And I also have to grab my Tazometer back at the hotel, so.
Yeah, it looks like
one.
between 10 and 11 a.m. and 4 and 5 p.m. is when messages can be sent out. But they are all reviewed by Evelina Treadway, one of the members of the Coyote gang, just to make sure that certain messages are not being sent out. So yeah, you guys are welcome to head up that way. What about Elias and Miss Tipple?
Miss Tipple, do you plan on staying and having another drink, or do you need to retire before we head up the hill?
I need to head back to my room. I've got some letters to send.
Oh, certainly.
And then we can meet back up here if you want.
I would like that very much. I'm very looking forward to the evening's festivities, whatever it is they may bring. I suppose I should probably change and polish my boots for a special occasion such as this.
That's a great idea. I'll see you back here in an hour.
Sure. An hour will work great for me. Thank you, Miss Tipple. I'll see you then.
Sure thing. She heads off to her room, which I'm assuming, I don't know if she's staying at the hotel or where else there would be rooms to let in this town.
There's probably a few rooms to let in some of the individual houses there, folks that are just trying to make a little bit of money on the side to kind of keep their house up and running. If you would like to stay in one of those, or if the hotel is easier for you, that's fine too.
I think she probably stays at the hotel. She probably has a room, a regular room at the hotel.
Okay. And is there anything that you were saying something about writing some letters?
Yes. So Ms. Tipple's going to go back to her room, and she's actually got some postcards that she likes to send back to her family in the East. So she's going to address a couple of postcards. They're, on the other side is, I think, a photo of maybe Annie Oakley or something.
Okay.
Souvenir postcards.
Gotcha.
So she's going to write the address to her family on there and take it to the post office. And there's not a whole lot of information written on there, though. She didn't really write letters. She just sends the postcard with the address on it.
Okay.
Doesn't write any notes.
Okay. Elias, you were going back to your place first, correct?
Yes.
As you are approaching the front porch there of your shop, I imagine you probably live up above. Mm-hmm. You see Augustus O'Malley, Doc O'Malley, mm-hmm. sitting on your porch on a little stool out front, and he's got a bandana over his face, and he's kind of gently kind of coughing a little bit as you approach. And as he sees you coming up, he kind of holds his hand up to stop you where you are. He says, "Don't get too close, Elias."
Doctor, where have you been?
Well, I had to travel on up the road just a piece to the mining community. There have been a few folks that have come into town with a little bit of a dry cough. As you can see, I believe I might have caught it myself.
Well, doctor, is there anything I can do for you?
Well, I suppose that's why I'm here, Elias. If I'm being honest with you, it's more than just a little dry cough. I'm afraid there's been an outbreak of cholera at the mining community. And since I myself have found myself taken under by this affliction, you know I don't have anyone here to look after the folks here in town.
Yes.
You know where I'm going with this now, don't you?
Well, doctor, you have to get better. There's nobody else in this town that can help the folks like you.
Nobody but you.
Doctor,
I know you're not a physician, but you have assisted me on many occasions anytime that that I have needed you, and you know enough about the human body to be able to get things going along while I'm gone, but it's not safe for me to be here. And I need you to make sure that nobody comes into the mining community.
Okay.
We need to be quarantined for the time being until I can get this under control.
Well, for how long?
Well, however long it takes, Elias.
I mean, I suppose I can try. I mean, doctor, the only bodies I can really deal with are already beyond help. I mean...
Yeah, I understand that, but you have helped me treat wounds.
I
You have helped me with amputations.
Yes.
And you know your way around my shop. You know where I keep my medications. There's a book in there, and if there's anything that you don't understand, then you look in that book and you do your best. You do your level best. You hear me?
I can do that. Well,
But
where are you going?
well, I have to get back to the community. There's too many sick down there, and I have to take care of them.
Yeah,
And I have to take care of myself.
Yes, that's what I'm most concerned about. Is it going to make you worse if you're around them?
Well, it sure ain't going to make me any better if I stay here. And it's not going to make any of those people any better if I stay here. They got nobody down there that can take care of them. And they are technically a part of our community.
Yes, I suppose so. Well, doctor, is there anything else that I can do?
Well, just do your level best.
Okay.
And if you need anything, leave me a note tacked up against the post down there at the entrance of the mining community, and I will check it 3 times a day, in the morning, at noon, and at dusk.
Okay.
And I will do my best to get word to you.
Okay. It's cholera, you said. Is that something cats can catch?
No, Elias.
Okay, because there's a lot of strays in this town, and you can never be too careful.
You need not be worried about the stray pussies.
Okay. I'm sorry, doctor. There's been too much damage.
No, it's all right. I'm gonna be fine. You just hold down the fort while I'm gone.
Okay. Doctor, please, when you're checking the post, leave a message for me too. Let me know how you're doing.
I'll do that, sir. I'll keep a daily record. You'll have one at dusk.
Thank you. Is there anything else I can do for you now, or
Oh,
would you like to come in?
That's not a good idea, sir. Not a good
Yeah.
idea. I don't want to get you sick.
I suppose not.
That wouldn't do anyone any good.
No, it wouldn't. Oh, just when you
Yeah.
think. I'm sorry. I just
That's
don't know
all
what
right.
to say.
That's all right. Nothing to say. Just get on about your business.
All right, Doctor. You take care now. You hear?
Yeah, I will do my best. All right. So, anything that now that you've had this conversation, anything that you want to do before you meet up with Tipple?
I'm gonna go inside and process this for a minute and clean up a little bit, and I'm gonna head over to the doctor's and just sort of look around, look for the book, and kind of familiarize myself and see what kind of things there are over there.
Yep, he's got a 3-inch thick medical book there with just about every ailment you can think of and the treatments for each. So if someone does come to you, you'll have at least a guide that you can go through to try to assist them.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit in the room for about 10 minutes and just kind of try and let it all wash over me and take it in.
Okay. And then
Okay.
Lillian and Julius, you all are able to get up to the general store, pick up whatever goods that you feel like you need for your little picnic, and anything else that you want to do while you are there.
Well, I'd just like to probably freshen up a little bit. Maybe perhaps change my suit, probably. I've been wearing it all day. I like to wear a fresh suit for the evening's activities. So, and I just do check some of the settings on the Tasometer and make sure that they are correct because I like to take the portable Tasometer and give it a go tonight if we can get this going.
Now, I take it that stores energy.
Yes, it stores energy for the sun. So I've had it sort of on the kind of not the balcony, the little windowsill, absorbing a lot of the sun's energy. You might remember that I put it out there earlier during the funeral. So it's there absorbing the sun. It's been there absorbing the sun's energy, all day. And so it should store up enough energy to be able to use. Here's what it looks like just for anybody that would like to see. That's what we'll be carrying with me, and then we'll put it to use tonight, I hope.
Okay. And Lillian, anything else you need to take care of before you head up to the cave?
I'm gonna dart over to my room and pick up my little bag. It's pretty, maybe this size, compact, little velvet pouch for the journey. And before I leave the general store, I'll check to see if there happens to be a telegram for me.
Is there anything particular you're looking for?
I'm hopeful for some comforting word from California, from a friend of mine. Or no telegram at all would also be okay.
Mm-hmm. Any particular person that you're hoping to hear from?
A close woman friend.
Okay. Then I tell you what, if you would like to create a conflict, you may do so, and we will see if there is anything there for you.
Okay.
To create a conflict, you can spend a plot point, or I can make one for you. If I make one for you and you fail, then it may not be something that you really want to hear. But if you create the conflict, you have narrative control over the outcome. Now, if it's a negative outcome, if you don't succeed, then you could make it as simple as you didn't receive a letter.
Right.
Uh,
I'm okay
but
with you, making the conflict.
you're comfortable with me making it?
Sure.
Okay, sure. All right. So you now have a conflict on the table, which is a letter from home. And what you'll need to do then is, let's see what we would roll for that.
Do you need a little bit of story for this? To know what the outcomes might point to?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to roll satiate for that, because you're wanting to take care of a need.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll roll your 2 dice.
Okay.
And then let me know what you get.
3 and a 1.
Mechanics, yay!
I got a 3 and a 1.
A 3 and a 1, so you got a total of 4. So that is actually a failure.
Okay.
So that means the conflict is not resolved and is still in play. So you will still be waiting for some word from home that hopefully might be a little positive, but there is a letter there for you, and it is unsigned, so from an unknown sender.
That's like most of the messages I receive.
And it says, beware, be on the lookout, they're after you.
Okay.
And that is the message.
All right. That's distressing.
That's what I was going for.
I
so
can
that's
tell. I
good.
think we're together. I can tell you're distressed. Is everything okay?
Not really. I think, Julius, I've been looking over my shoulder, and running from my past. And I think it's coming to find me.
Coming to find you here in this godforsaken place? Who could possibly find you here?
I know. There are powerful people back in California who have been searching for me, and I'm afraid this is bad news. My friend has sent me a message, so she's heard something of the progress of this man who's been set to find me and bring me to accounts. So I can only hope that, maybe with the help of the Tazimeter and the power it might unleash, and the forces from the spirit world who might guide me to safety, that I'll be able to escape this. Otherwise, I don't know what will become of me, trapped as we are here by the gang.
No, we will figure this out together. I'm here to help you. You just, we'll figure this out together. No need to worry.
Okay, I'm still worried.
I think our experiments will be very successful. I have confidence.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll let time pass just a little bit after that scene, and it's approaching probably 7:30 at this point, so this would maybe be a good time for the foursome to convene at the cave.
Now, yeah. So Bill's already up there, right? He's not in sight.
That's
we're
correct.
just
Yeah.
going there ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so
So I know you're taking the Tasometer with you.
yeah, and I asked for help with the food because it's, I know Lillian's got a basket, and there are a couple more baskets we have along with wine. So, if we could all distribute that and kind of carry it through the cave ourselves, that would be good.
And just let me know what all you are taking with you. So you've got food, you've got the Tasometer. Is anybody else taking anything with them?
Wine.
Yeah.
I brought 2 lanterns so we can see.
That's an excellent idea.
We have a blanket as well as plates and forks and knives and various cutlery and napkins. I mean, this is going to be a very civilized picnic.
I've brought a few little bottles. I've brought the means to make a fire. I've brought a blanket, for the table or the picnic, wherever. And my runes, my letters to make messages.
You said runes?
Yeah, that may not be the right word. I've brought little like for channeling the messages from the spirit world, like to make words.
Okay. I was really hoping for a crystal ball.
Do you understand?
No, we.
You want me to have one?
Oh, no. You bring whatever you want. No, I just, when I was thinking about this, I was like, oh, Christy's got to bring a crystal ball.
No, what you have to understand, narrator, is that's people's conception of reaching the spirit
Oh,
world.
I know.
Things don't actually work like that in reality.
Thank you, Julius.
You're welcome.
Elias, what are you bringing?
I did not know I was supposed to bring something. I was invited, and all I brought was this small bottle of alcohol. I apologize. I would like to help carry some of this stuff. I do not get invited to things very often.
That's all right. So you, Julius, and Lillian help distribute the stuff so it's evenly distributed between the other folks, so everybody is carrying kind of the equal amount, so no one's overweighted with anything. And you show up at the cave at about 7:30 or so, and it's a small opening, but not so small that you have to crawl to get in there, but you do have to crouch down to kind of get into the mouth of the cave here. Very few people probably really know that it's here. Folks maybe that have been in town for quite a long time are probably familiar with it, but since it's on the property that is owned by the blacksmith, he kind of, protects it, and keeps it to himself. But you're able to get in without, any interruption. Now, if Rusty were here, there would certainly have been an interruption, but I'm not going to try to put up a roadblock for you there. Once you get in and the lanterns are lit, it's tight in there, but you've got enough headroom to be able to stand up in most places. Every once in a while you have to kind of crouch down a little bit to get under the stalagmites and so forth, not to bump your head and so forth. But it is dark and damp, and off in the distance you do hear a little bit of a trickle of water. Miss Tipple, have you traversed this terrain before? You seem to have known about it prior to tonight.
Oh, I found it quite by accident, actually.
But you have been in here before, you think?
Yes.
Okay. So you kind of by default probably will have to take the lead as the guide to get everybody through. And it's twisty and turny, but in a way that really is kind of a stretch. Difficult to, or not going to be easy to get lost in here. You kind of know your way through to where you can get them where they need to go. And that trickle of water as you got.
You're breaking up again.
You lost a little bit.
Oh shoot. Okay. Is this any better at all?
A little bit.
Keep talking. Go back and just say what you said before about. I heard a trickle of water, and
okay,
I think before that, but we missed the description.
Okay, yeah. So there's a trickle of water, and there is a little creek that runs through this space that you'll have to probably go about knee deep to be able to traverse to the other side.
Oh, it's horrible.
So if you take your shoes off and roll up your pants a little bit, you could probably get through without getting your clothes too wet.
Yes, that's my plan.
Okay. And you reach the other side. That's probably about, we'll say maybe about 20 feet wide at this point. And Lillian has a tiny switchblade. Thanks for adding that. So once you get to the other side, you continue through, and you definitely feel an incline at this point, kind of moving towards the inevitable exit from the cave. And you feel a little bit of a breeze kind of coming in, so you know you're getting a little bit closer. And as you are approaching that area, you are alerted to just a sound off in the distance, and it seems to be a bit of a low growl, kind of a something like that, and it is up ahead.
Did everyone hear that?
You mean the ominous sound coming from somewhere into the darkness? Yes,
Yes.
I absolutely heard it.
What did that sound like to you all?
Like a large cat or a wolf, perhaps?
A wolf in a tunnel?
Well, I mean, it could perhaps be at the entrance. I don't know where we are. Miss Tipple?
We're nearly to the exit. It might be a bobcat.
I don't know that that's any better than a wolf.
A bobcat, a wolf. Well, aren't these creatures that run away from people?
You must be new to the West. A bobcat, perhaps, unless this is where it lives. And then you really don't want to tangle with it. But a wolf, if there's one, there's likely more than one. And no, you will not run away from that. Or it will not run away from you.
Do we have anything with which we could kill a wolf or shoo it away?
I suppose you could throw it a loaf of bread.
What about the lantern? Could we light a lantern and if it comes, throw a lantern at it?
You need the lantern.
Scare it away?
Just hold the lantern. So
Or hold the lantern.
Miss Tipple reaches into her boot and pulls out a pistol.
No,
Hold
you
the
didn't tell me
lantern up.
you didn't tell me you had a pistol.
I know.
Spin a plot. You want to spin a plot point and get that pistol in?
Oh, sure. I'll do it. Are you going to make me do that?
Yeah, I'm going to
Yes,
make you do that.
of course. Take my plot point. I pulled out a pistol that I had hidden in my boot. Not a big one.
And I take it you maybe hand off your lantern to Julius then?
Yes.
Okay. In that moment where you're handing that off to him and pulling the gun out of your boot, Julius, you hold that lantern up just a little bit, and just off in the distance, maybe about 15 feet away or so, you see a pair of glowing eyes.
Well, what kind of glowing? Can I make a perception check? What kind of glowing eyes are these glowing eyes? What are we talking about here?
They're green.
Like green human glowing eyes or green something else glowing eyes?
Green something else. Yeah, you're getting a definite reflection of light coming from up ahead.
Like
So
how far the eye distance from them each other? Is it like little mouse eyes or spider eyes or like elephant eyes? Like how far are they away from each other?
Definitely somewhere in between. You have seen lantern light hit a cat in the darkness, and that's kind of what you see. But it's a bigger cat.
It is a cat then.
That would be your best guess, based off of the greenish hue that they're casting. Yes.
Miss Tipple, I think you are correct. I think that is some kind of cat, but not the little house cat. I think it's more along the bobcat line that we're looking at up ahead of us here.
And at that moment, you hear a loud growl. And Bill, if you are, I imagine you're probably close enough to the cave where you actually hear that little growl coming from the cave.
Where does the cave empty out?
Just
Like,
behind.
Am I aware of that exit? Like, do I know where that is?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just behind the Pueblo church that you've been shacking up in.
Okay. Well, I hear that, and I take a break from trying to tidy up my squatter's church home, and my gun belt's already still on, and so I'll just kind of step outside and check it out.
Okay. And then back in the cave, what are you guys up to?
I'm making some calculations and trying to figure out whether I have the ability to scare away a cat.
Mm-hmm.
So as we've been coming through the cave, I stepped back a few paces because I noticed a streak of phosphorus metal, and I always collect that because I can make a little fire happen during my seance. And I have some. I could use it to create some sort of a fearful, blast of fire that might scare away the cat, but I am not sure I want to use it if somebody else is going to save us from the situation. So I'm thinking through these options.
And Miss Tipple, you can see that glowing pair of eyes up ahead.
I'm trying to decide if my little pistol with probably one, maybe two shots in it, if I can hit it in the cave, in the dark, from 15 feet away. I'm just not sure. So,
After
ready. What?
After 5 whiskeys.
After 5 whiskeys, she's a little shaky. Maybe she sees 5 cats.
Probably feeling pretty confident, though.
Probably so.
So, Lillian, you see Miss Tipple kind of waving her gun in the darkness there, trying to get a bead on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So really it comes down to now you've got the two ladies that are trying to protect the men and vying for who's going to be the first to actually make a move. So I'll leave it up to the two of you as to who decides that they want to confront this beast.
Can you just tell me again, can we see the exit or the entrance, and can we see Bill? Do we know he's out there?
No, no, okay. You can't see. You know that you're near the exit,
so
because you can feel the breeze coming in, but yeah, you're not aware of his presence.
So he probably heard a ruckus and came over, but we don't know he's out there yet.
Correct.
Okay. Lillian, I've got 2 shots in this pistol. If you think you can help me out here, I could sure use it. Distraction, maybe?
You think that'll scare it away? If I can make a blast, is that likely to scare away a bobcat?
I would think so. It's pretty riled up as it is. Although it could get spooked and run towards us.
What if it's choleric?
Animals cannot actually get cholera.
Cats specifically, right?
Yeah, cats cannot. I actually had a conversation about that earlier tonight. Look, you guys seem to be new to the West and to the wilds. Have you ever seen what a bobcat does to a man's body? I recommend that we simply go back, Miss Tipple. Either you take your shot or we turn around and we call this evening a bust and we try again perhaps tomorrow.
All right. Hold the lantern up. Hold it up before it moves. Bang.
All right, you taking a shot?
I'll take a shot.
Okay. All right. You're confronting a conflict, so you'll roll. We're gonna do. Do you have an arc yet? I don't think that you do. You don't have a +1 arc.
You mean the ones that I chose, or have I been given? I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry.
You should have on your sheet in the upper center area.
Yes.
-5. Both these.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
And you don't have anything marked there yet, do you? Ah, crap. All right, hold on a second here. Yeah, you guys are getting jumbled for me now, too.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So you should have... I don't think you have an arc yet.
I don't think I do.
Okay. So what you'll want to roll then is we're going to do satiate. Because we're taking care of a need, which is to try to protect the others. Okay. We can't roll protect because you're not rising yet, so you're still flat. So it's going to be satiate.
Okay. And I don't have any dice at the moment. Can someone roll some dice for me? I actually left mine upstairs. I'm sorry.
Alrighty, Mike has got it.
Thank you, Mike.
I got a pair of 3s.
Pair of 3s, so that's a 6, which is not a success. So you fire a blind shot in the darkness. And Bill, you definitely hear that, without a doubt. So your shot misses, and the cat reacts to that by charging the group, and it's coming straight for you guys now.
Is it okay if I use my phosphorus trick?
Yes, so you will now confront the conflict of the cougar, and you'll roll. You're not rising either yet, are you?
No. I don't know if I have an arc assigned at this point.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has at this point. So you're also going to roll to satiate.
Ooh, 6 and 3.
Okay, so 9. So that is a success for you. That's a roll of 7+, so I get to determine the outcome of this. So you take the lantern and throw the phosphorus over it, and this huge wall of fire and sparks spew forth towards the lunging cat, who it doesn't hit it, but it definitely catches its attention, and it winces and flinches away and begins to retreat from you guys, running in the opposite direction. So you have resolved that conflict at this point. And let's see, do you get something for that? Let's see here.
For Bill.
Oh, and Miss Tipple, you
Yes.
now receive a -1 arc, so you are now falling. Lillian, you're going to receive a let's see here, +1 arc. And you get a plot point for resolving the conflict. And Bill,
Yes.
you hear the padding of footsteps coming directly towards you out of the mouth of the cave. Something is coming real fast out of there.
Well, after I heard the growl and then started heading toward the cave entrance and then heard the gunshot, I kind of crouch down and draw my gun and just kind of wait to see see what might be coming out of there. And I assume maybe I heard something from the phosphorus flash or saw some light.
You definitely did, and saw a flash of light coming from down in the cave, yes.
So I'm kind of just wondering what the hell's going on, and just kind of crouch down and be prepared for whatever might come out of there.
Okay. And you, like I said, you do hear the padding of footsteps coming very, very quickly towards you. It is definitely an animal coming out of that cave, without question.
Okay, I cock my gun and take aim at the exit of the cave.
Okay. And then eventually, it's kind of dark out. You know, it's dusk and almost like fully night at this point. But you can see those glowing green eyes coming out of the cave. So you recognize that immediately as a cougar that has taken up residence in this cave back behind you.
All right. I will go ahead and take a shot just based on kind of the commotion of earlier and go from there.
Okay. Now, technically, this conflict has been resolved for the folks in the cave, but I would be willing to put that back out on the table for you, because it's kind of a new conflict for you. So you may make that roll. And again, I don't think you're rising or falling yet.
No, I don't think I've had any arc opportunities yet.
Again, this is taking care of a need, which is basically protecting yourself,
right,
from whatever this is coming out of there.
Okay. I got a 7.
Got a 7?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is you have resolved that conflict now for yourself. And I narrate that part of it. So you take a shot at it, and it hits the rock, a rock right in front of the beast that's coming out of there, ricochets off and catches it right in its breast. And it's blown backwards into the cave, and you hear the as it's hit, and it falls and is breathing some dying breaths, and it eventually succumbs to its death.
I just kind of, give it a little time to get away, and when I see that it's fallen, I kind of ease my way into the entrance of the cave with my gun drawn, preparing for anything else that might be behind it, or if it's not all the way dead. and start inching my way in there.
Okay. And then for those of you that were in the cave, you then hear that second shot coming from the mouth of the cave, not too far up ahead. So you definitely hear that, and you hear the growl of the cougar as it is hit by the stray shot.
I mean, as we proceed, we say, don't, hey, stop, don't shoot. We let them know that people are here.
Bill, you hear the voice of Julius begging for you not to shoot.
Is that you? Fancy fella, I can't remember your name.
Yes, it's me. It's me, Dr. Julius. I'm here along with my friends. We're here for we brought a little repast for the evening. If you wouldn't mind, would it be okay if we proceeded out of this cave? Is it safe?
Yeah, you should. You'll have to step over the cat there, but yeah, come on up.
Oh, well, thank you for taking care of it. But what a poor creature it was. I guess it was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, well, it's been wandering around here. I've seen it, but this is the first trouble it's caused for me. So y'all should be okay from here on out.
As you guys are moving in that direction, you, in the light of the lantern, you see that she has a small bed that she has created in there, and there are 3 young cubs that are laying there.
So mean.
Jesus. Well, we can eat them with the meal tonight.
Dr. Julius, you find this funny?
Cat's a little stringy anyway, Doc.
I do. Well, what do we do with these little cute creatures?
Well, this is the circle of life. I suppose if they're meant to survive, they'll survive. Unless you'd like to take one home and perhaps raise it as your own.
If you're speaking to me, absolutely not.
Well,
you could try to raise a cougar as your own. Might make it a couple weeks.
it's a stupid idea, I know. I suppose we have no other option. We need to, I suppose, dispatch of all 3? Or do you think that they would survive on their own?
I think it's cruel to leave them on their own. How old are they?
That'd be the right thing.
How old would you say they are?
Most likely about 3 or 4 weeks, probably.
Yes, they won't survive on their own. We must kill them now.
I get my gun out of my holster, or one of my guns.
Poor Christy.
And I hand it to Dr. Julius, and welcome him to go ahead and take care of it.
Well, does anyone else have another idea before we do this?
Well, have you got a bucket of water?
I don't mean another idea of how to kill them. I mean another idea of how we might not kill them.
You could strangle them. If you... Some rope.
Okay, well, I suppose it must be done.
You're gonna hang them.
I walk. Are you sure? Whose gun do I? This is yours, Bill. Bill, this gun is yours. Yes. You want me to do this? I'm not even. I'm not even accustomed to using guns.
Save your bullets.
I killed the big one.
Well, I can do it, but it's your gun. You're a gunslinger or something, aren't you? I'm not used to these things.
My gun has been slung this evening, sir.
My weapons are pencils and
they're
pens.
not going anywhere.
I did take a class on anatomy, so I suppose we did have to dissect things. I suppose it's not that different.
Does anybody have a knife?
I've got a knife.
Oh, may I borrow it, please? Thank you. I will handle the cats.
Oh,
They're
fantastic.
babies. They
Bill,
cannot hurt
thank you for your gun. Here's your gun.
Sure.
I've spent enough time to know what can kill a man instantly. I assume it is the same for a cat. I'm going to go
Probably get
dispatch of
something for those pelts in town.
I'm going to go dispatch of the 3 cats.
Okay. So we'll make that a conflict for you.
I got to roll for this. I'm going to screw this
Yeah.
up. All right. I don't have 2 dice, so I'm going to use an internet roll. Here we go.
Okay. And once again, that's going to fall under satiate. Oh, and hey guys, I am sorry. On your character sheet, you should have listings next to instinct, personality, and morality. If you have a number by that, you can always you will add whatever number that is to your roll. Okay. And then if there's like a +1 for rising, if you are rising, you add another +1 in that particular attribute, or a -1 if there's a -1. Do you all see that on your papers?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I apologize for that. I kind of forgot about that aspect of it.
Cool. And you'll let us know like which of those modifiers is applicable?
Well, if you're rising and there's a +1 if rising,
Oh, okay.
then
Gotcha.
you're gonna add that one. If
Okay.
there's a -1 for falling, then you'll utilize that. If any time though, if you have like a 1 in say instinct and a 1 in morality, you will always add that regardless. But if you have a 1 in say morality and a -1 if falling, then it just kind of cancels itself out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. So Elias, you're going to roll satiate, which is an instinct roll.
Okay, so I got a +1 on that. First roll is a 3. I have 1 die.
Okay.
1. So I got a 4 + 1, so I got a 5.
All right, so you got a total of 5.
Does the cub steal my knife?
Stabs you in the shin.
You killed my mother.
The first cub, you bring the knife to its throat and you slice, and it does not kill it. It starts to writhe in horrible agony.
I would like to sort of push Elias aside and just shoot the cubs. Bill has trouble kind of watching the suffering at this point and kind of snaps a little bit.
Okay. And are you rising or falling yet?
+1 rising.
Okay. You're really not keeping anybody safe. This is probably making a moral stand. So that's going to be morality roll.
Okay. So morality, I've got a 2 and then a +1 when rising. So I guess that's
Okay.
3 all day.
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled a 7, so that's a 7 + 3.
Okay, so that's a 10. So you get to narrate the outcome of this.
All right. I just kind of expressed some frustration, like, God damn it, and kind of elbow Elias aside, not hard enough to knock him down or anything, but just sort of just to get a clear shot and draw my gun and just pow, 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 and dispatch the cubs
Okay.
accordingly.
And in this case, Elias, since you failed the roll, you're going to receive a -1 arc.
Okay. Mark that.
Bill, you receive a +1 arc. And you receive a plot point.
All right. I apologize, Undertaker. I couldn't stand to see those cubs suffer, and I just thought I'd take care of it. I was trying to avoid that.
Well, thank you. You did the right thing. I'm sorry that I failed you guys. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to. Thank you. Thank you for what you did. I do appreciate it.
It's all right. I should have taken care of it to begin with. I've just already done plenty of killing, some killing tonight, and I was just hoping to avoid it.
Well, I'm sorry if I ruined everybody's evening.
And as I say that, I'm reloading my gun.
Oh, perhaps we could move to a more civilized place.
Well, I don't know if it gets more civilized, but we can walk up to my spot.
Thank you.
And I just kind of walk out of the cave and walk up toward the church, assuming that people will follow me.
And does everybody do so?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So can you describe for us this, what we're looking at here in terms of this church?
This would have been something that was probably adapted into a church form. It looks more probably Mexican in appearance because it is kind of more of a Pueblo style. So it's run down, and it is basically just one big room where people would have gathered for a church service, and it's small. It's maybe about 20 feet wide by perhaps 40 feet deep.
Is there still a raised platform where the altar was?
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill, you can kind of describe how you have adapted it to a living quarters for yourself.
It's not terribly different than it would have been if it were a church, or when it was in its abandoned church state. Other than my few belongings, there's a table with a little wash basin up against one wall. You can see my bedroll and what few clothes I have kind of rolled up and stashed away as I put them there when I knew company was coming. And beyond that, there's some, kind of worn wooden benches that served as pews and a little table that was probably the altar, up towards the front. But beyond that, it's just, it's keeps most of the weather out, but it's not much to look at otherwise.
And there might have been some bits and pieces from the ranch that is just off of the property of the church that you might have been able to have scavenged that, you could have certainly added, to the ambience of the room. But not much. I mean, that place had probably been abandoned for likely 20 or more years, probably.
Yeah, I've kept it neat, but it's still an abandoned Pueblo church. Well, I guess we're here, and it's not much, but you folks are welcome to make yourselves at home.
Well, thank you very much, Bill. We really appreciate you and, well, sort of welcoming us into your place, if we want to call it your place. It does have its beauty to it, the Spanish architecture, even though it is simple. Well, Lillian, do you think we should sort of set up here up on, I think this, we could set up the picnic right here up here on this sort of wooden platform, don't you think?
Sounds like a great idea. Does this place look suitable for your experiments? I know we're going to be doing the seance tonight, but as far as the Tasometer is concerned, does it seem like the sort of location that will do for you?
Well, the Tasometer can be used because it stores up energy in any location. So we could be anywhere for this set of experiments. The fact that we are up on a hill in a church, I think will improve your possibility of connecting with the other world. For the true experiments of the larger Tasometer, I'll need to be in the sun during the day. But for this, we're looking at if we can use the energy that's already been harnessed in this to expand the possibilities of what you are able to achieve. So, but I'm not sure if they know that there's a seance going on. So perhaps we shouldn't talk about that right now.
Excuse me, did you say seance, ma'am?
A what?
I thought we were having a picnic.
Is that French?
Oh, no. She was probably, thinking that, of course, if we had a picnic, we would have some entertainment for the evening as well. And we might, one of us might play a little music, or perhaps we would play a game together, or perhaps a seance, something fun just to lighten up the night a little bit, But maybe that's later and we can all decide that. But I think right now we're famished and parched, and we should lay out the food and enjoy the wine.
Well, all right.
Perhaps we'll find more cats.
So I think we do that. We unpack all of our supplies and lay out the cloths on this sort of wooden altar up above in the front of the room, and pour everyone their cups of wine. Pour especially big cup of wine for Miss Tipple, as much as she likes it, and we enjoy our dinner.
Okay. You enjoy your dinner and partake of the libations, and we'll say, maybe about an hour or so it takes you guys to get through the meal portion of the evening. And as you're cleaning up and so forth, then you can decide how to move forward.
The wine was a little off, I will have to say. Just a little bit. Not the best wine I've ever had.
I think it's been on the shelf a bit too long in this overheated town.
Yes, I don't think they're able to keep it at the proper temperature.
Tasted fine to me.
Okay.
Is there a cougar out there?
Something's
Kurt?
out there. Like it's like loud music is walking along the beach or something. It's very strange, actually. Okay, so what do you, Lillian? Does somebody have does somebody have an instrument? Does somebody play music of any kind?
Miss Tipple, do you sing, Bill? Surely you know some prairie songs.
Oh, never was much of a musician, Elias. I think I'll leave that to somebody else.
Oh, I don't sing, but I know some dirty jokes.
Oh,
Sure.
It's better than nothing.
What does the sign on an out-of-business brothel say?
I don't know, Miss Tipple.
Feed it.
Oh. Oh.
very good. That's good. Okay, the jokes were fantastic. Let's move on. One more, maybe one more. Miss Tipple, do you
I
have
have
another one?
lots more, but if you're too sensitive, if it's going to damage your sensibilities, then I won't say it.
We've
Oh,
all
let's do another one. Let's do another one, please.
with some bad wine.
Sorry. Okay. Why did God give men penises? So
I
they'd
don't know.
have
To procreate with, probably.
so they'd have at least one way to shut a woman up. No?
Miss Tipple, you are
No?
really something.
No? Is that one not good enough?
I have a feeling Lillian's not going to like that one.
I think I like the first one better.
Well-
Mister, this is all over. We're going to have some words.
So perhaps, our friend Lillian here, as you may know, works in a magic show. Is that correct, Lillian? I haven't. Is that correct? Yes.
That's right.
Form. So maybe we could do a little magic trick for the evening. Seances from where I'm from are very popular, and we were thinking possibly it would be fun for us to enjoy a seance for a little entertainment in the evening. Maybe see if we can call up the dead a little bit, hear from some voices from the other world, the other side. What do you think about that? Would you all be interested in doing that tonight?
I'm a little leery of that, but
Oh, I assure you, it's perfectly innocent fun. We do it all the time.
Very respectful, very tasteful.
Do you really believe that you can speak with the dead?
Yes, I do.
it's just that I think there are a lot of dead folks that probably aren't too happy with me.
Oh, I'd hate to think they're not happy with me.
Sometimes,
Lillian, how does it work? Tell us about the process, please.
well, sometimes it's very comforting to hear from the spirit side, just as often as you might have misgivings. You can be comforted by connection from those on the other side.
I would be game to try. Sure, why not?
Well, once we've cleared away all of this food, if that hasn't happened already, I would just ask you all to gather around the table and maybe join hands.
Just a moment, Lillian. Let's not quite start yet. And I take out the tasometer and I just place it right in front of me on the table. I'd just like to make some adjustments here, just to make sure.
Okay, so
Okay, all set. Thank you.
are you going to try to activate the tasometer at this point?
Yes, because I am going to turn it on, and it will radiate an energy throughout the room during this process to try to looking for the right word, to try to amplify the power of what she's about ready to do.
Okay. Now, do you feel like this is taking care of a need, or are you trying to guide
No, it's
Lillian
taking care
through
of.
this?
I don't think I'm trying to guide her. I think I am trying to take care of a need to do the research that I need to do.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're going to make this a conflict for you, and that's the tasometer, just to make sure that it's going to work properly. So you're going to roll satiate, which is an instinct roll.
Okay, and my instinct right now, I'm not arcing, so my instinct is 1. So I add 1 to the roll, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to throw the 2 dice. I end up with a 4 and a 3, plus the 1 is 8.
Okay, so that's an 8, so that's a result of 7 plus, so you did succeed. You'll receive a +1 arc and a plot point.
Okay.
And you're able to fire up the tasometer. Tasometer, we'll call it. Tasometer.
Maybe
Okay.
that's mine.
And how does that, does it appear to do something? Does it emit a light or anything like that?
Yes, what you'll probably see is it'll have a slight hum, and sort of there'll be sort of an electrical blue. In part of it, you'll see sort of blue electricity.
Okay.
You know, those kinds of, like, from those kinds of devices at that time, the blue electric, you know, sort of sparkling electricity. But that's only what you see. The force of it, you won't feel it, but it will be sort of like radiation penetrating the room.
So the air
permeating the
has kind
room.
of electrified somewhat.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you guys, the hairs on your arms stand up just a little bit once he activates this, and that blue sparking is something that probably Elias and Bill for sure have maybe never seen before. Almost looks like magic.
Yes.
Doc, is that doing what it's supposed to do?
Yes, it's doing precisely what it's supposed to do.
What's that? What is it doing exactly?
It's called electricity. It's something that we believe that very soon we will be able to produce light, like your lanterns, but with this power, this electricity, and run it into your homes. It's been something we've been working with for quite some time now.
Is it dangerous?
It would be dangerous if you touch this device right now. Yes, it would be dangerous. You would feel a shock, or perhaps worse. But we're going to use it simply to create the mood for the evening, because the blue light does look fantastic, doesn't it?
You can see your shadows kind of dancing on the walls of the church behind you.
So what do we do now?
Should all gather round, come close around the table, and hold hands. I've been lighting some sticks that I gathered in California. You know, there's a large Asian population in California, and from their neighborhood, I've received some resins that are infused on these sticks. So in conjunction with the wine and the glow of the taximeter, I think we're creating quite an atmosphere with this. And I think I'll ask everyone to hold hands.
I don't know about all this.
Are you very reluctant to participate, Bill?
I'm pretty reluctant. This is pretty weird.
Is this enough to create a conflict between you and Lillian?
I think it might be.
Okay, so we're going to need to convince Bill to participate. And that can either be Lillian or Julius, since you two are the ones that are working in tandem to try to make contact with the other side.
I can try.
And you are both rising at this time, correct?
Yes.
Lillian and Julius. Okay.
Yes.
So this would be a I think a befriend role, which is a personality role. So whoever decides to try to convince Bill is going to roll personality.
Is there a mechanic where you can help someone else out? You know, like kind of work together on something?
Technically, no.
Okay.
Basically, one person makes the attempt. If they fail, then someone else may attempt to overcome the conflict.
Okay, perfect.
I can try.
Well, I think you should go for it, Lillian.
Okay, I got a 4 and a 3.
So
And,
that's a 7.
and personality is 2 plus 1 rising.
Wow.
Okay, so that's a 10. Okay, that's good. So you have full narrative control here. Now, what you cannot do is you cannot say how Bill reacts. Bill's going to have to make a decision based off of, what you tell him. But you can basically do anything that you want through your narrative, either through the dialogue that you're reaching out to him with, or by saying, certain elements in the room change or what have you, to try to help convince him. So it's completely up to you. You've got full narrative control.
Hmm.
And then Bill, you have the option to agree or to disagree. If you concede and decide to participate in the seance, then you'll receive a +1 arc for conceding.
All right.
Well, I think I guess I know since I'm controlling this at this point. But I reach over and I take Bill's hands and I speak directly to him and tell him that this is, well, first of all, I bring the incense a little closer so that it fully affects his senses as he's listening. And I tell him how much this means to me, to Julius and his experiments, to everyone in this town. But most of all, if he has regrets about anything with regard to those who've passed, this might bring him some comfort. And we all really count on him to be a part of this. No shame or pushing, but we hope he'll be with us in this. And I do sort of hope, I don't say this, but I do hope that as I'm looking into his eyes, he sees my own glowing green eyes and thinks of those cubs and wishes that maybe he could go back in time and do something to help those baby cubs who just needed a little bit of help right now.
This just I thank y'all for bringing the food and everything, but this just seems like a little more than I bargained for an evening socializing. Just makes me uneasy. I don't know about this with that phonograph thing that Doc has, and just seems awfully strange.
So are you deciding not to participate?
I haven't decided, but I'm still hesitant.
Well,
Would you be? Oh, go ahead.
Do you want me to try to? Should I try to have
Well,
a go at it? She already succeeded on the roll, right? So what does that
technically,
mean?
she succeeded on the roll,
Right.
but it is up to the individual player as to whether or not he wishes to move forward. I guess the question then goes to Bill. If you don't wish to participate as far as holding hands and taking part in the seance, are you going to allow them to continue? And, well, I mean, technically, because she got the success, it does kind of force your hand into at least allowing them to continue, but you don't have to hold hands with them and you don't have to be in the room with them while they do it. But you could choose to be in the room and watch, or you could take a step outside.
Well, I think it's good enough for Bill to kind of express his hesitance and reluctance and sort of his feeling that the evening is not going the way that he thought it would go. And but he appreciates Lillian's efforts and reluctantly participates and takes her hand and joins the circle, but still has sort of a quizzical, reluctant look on his face.
Okay. So in that case, then you are conceding to participate, but it's a reluctance, and that's fine. So with that, you do still receive your +1 arc.
All right.
So now you're at +3, I think, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's a lot of moves in one night there. Okay, so Lillian, now it's up to you then to conduct the seance, and so that's the conflict now that you're going to have to overcome.
Okay. How shall I overcome this?
So this, again, you're rising, so, and this could be a flat move or it could be a rising move. So I think, let's see, I feel like this is, you're really kind of guiding the others here through the seance. So this would be a navigate others role, which is another personality role.
Okay, 4 and 6.
And do you have any pluses on personality?
2.
4 and 6. Okay, so you've got 12 then, yes?
I'm rising, maybe one more.
Okay, so that means that you succeed in the seance and you have full narrative control. You'll gain another +1 arc and a plot point.
Now, along with that, do I need to make a roll to see if this device affects her narrative?
It already does. Yeah, you already made that roll, and so
Okay.
it has activated.
It's already doing its thing. Okay.
It's going to assist, yes.
Got it. Okay.
So, Lillian, with that in mind, any seance that you have held prior to this is now amplified tenfold. So anything that you have ever seen or experienced in a seance prior to this night, tonight is going to be the best seance you've ever had. So you have full descriptive control over what it is that they see, what you lay out as far as the runes and so forth, and you basically tell them what it is that they see and hear and feel. So be as descriptive as you want, and you can create new things, introduce new plot points to the narrative. It's all yours.
Okay. Well, if I don't do it justice, then anyone can jump in and let me know what they've seen, what they feel in the moment. It's very participatory seances, and we're seeking to draw aside the supernatural veil separating the spirit world from our world. So if you feel comfortable closing your eyes for just a moment and taking a deep breath, and with your eyes closed, exhaling slowly. And when you open your eyes, we are here together. I'm actually relieved that I'm not having to use the phosphorus. The tasimeter creates its own eerie medical ambiance in the room. And everything seems electric. The glow of the fire is dancing against the walls of the Pueblo church. The incense fills the room at this point, and I start to shudder, and I receive my first sign, having thrown out my letters for messages to be received. I sense that my hands are moving and I don't even notice it. Do the letters spell anything?
It's the judge we buried.
That's the spirit who's in this room?
Oops.
All right. I can feel him. But he's not speaking clearly to me. Wow, it's very difficult to it's very difficult to hear the voices. I think it's because Judge McCarthy is telling me that we have too many secrets, and the spirits will not speak through him to me. The spirits require openness, and everyone in this room has not been fully honest. Before I move forward, I want to tell you that McCarthy told me that he senses regret. Someone here has regrets. He senses deception, cowardice, grief, manipulation, and doubt.
Does that ring true to anyone?
A show of openness will allow the spirits to feel comfortable speaking through us.
Does what she said ring true to anyone?
Well, I think I can take credit for the regret. I've killed a lot of men, and I was kind of afraid of what I might see here, who might want to come to talk to me at this sort of thing, and I just regret all the harm that I've caused, whether or not it was always my fault or not. It always seemed to come out of me, and that's my piece.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your honesty. We know you've lived a life here. It's understandable that you have some regrets. Anyone else?
Miss Tipple, not to put you on the spot, is there anything that you would like to share?
Deception, grief, cowardice, manipulation, doubt.
Well, I've been watching you all pretty closely, and I think I can tell you some things about me that you probably didn't know. I'm not actually drunk, ever. My name is Alice. I come from Chicago, and I was hired by the marshal to, before he died, of course, to help him figure out when the Coyote Gang was going to come back to town to kill him. He knew they were coming back. He asked me to come. I came from Chicago, and I failed him. I got the wrong information. It was too late. And the coyote gang came in the middle of the night and killed him in his bed. And I failed him. And I've been waiting for some people to come along to help me see what I can do to fix it. After he died, I was recalled to Chicago to the Pinkertons, and I chose not to go. And I think that in this group, I think each one of you has something that you can bring, and that we can once and for all get rid of the coyote gang and avenge all the deaths that have happened. Feels good to get that off my chest.
That was unexpected.
Well, I suppose as long as we're sharing, I guess cowardice would I guess it would sort of describe me. I don't ever really do anything. I don't take a stand for anything. I just watch things happen, and then I try to wander through and patch things up and pick up the pieces a little bit, but I never do anything to make them better. I never do anything to make them worse either. I just sort of exist. And even trying to help tonight with those stupid cats, I couldn't even do that right. I haven't told you guys, but I saw the doctor earlier today. Well, it looks like he has cholera. And he's asked me to try to step into his place and to help out, and I don't think I can do it. I don't think that I know how to help. I don't think that I'm going to be able to step up and actually do anything for anybody that's not going to cause them harm or end up burying them 6 feet under the ground. So I suppose I just crawl back into my shop and just wait for another body to come through. I just don't know what I can possibly do. I'm scared to do anything. I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, Bill, you seem like a brave fellow. When someone's coming to pick a fight with you, how do you not just shut down?
Well, in the line of work I've been in, if you can call it that shutting down's not really a choice. You know, you shut down, you get shot. It really just sort of becomes instinct after a while. I guess the best you can do is force yourself to take some kind of action and get it to be a habit, and just develop yourself in that way, for better or worse.
I suppose. But at my age, is there even any point in trying?
Hey, it's better than not.
I suppose. Dr. Julius?
Well, I have to admit to manipulation. I tend to manipulate people to get my aims, including this tonight. I knew we would do a seance, and I did it for research purposes. And I've always pushed those I loved aside for my own needs, my own research, my own aims. So I'd like to apologize to you all tonight for that right now. I will try to do better in the future. And what you say about cholera is very disturbing to me, both on a personal and and in terms of the research that I must achieve here. But I must carry on. But I am again sorry for bringing you all here under the pretense of a dinner with the goal of actually trying this taximeter out on you and seeing what would happen. I'd power it down.
But the Tazimeter shudders, and we are back in the room. And the following message appears. Eligible.
And can it
Can.
read
Can't hide?
And
the
hi.
two ends?
Sounds like.
McCarthy was not a man of letters. and in quick succession, a number of other messages appeared. Some make sense, some don't make sense.
At murder.
That one I don't understand. This one, there is,
Celestial.
Celestial.
and at the same time, I'm getting a strong message from Judge McCarthy that they are coming. They're coming soon, a lot of them. And there is some struggle for power connected with this celestial event. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But as we're sitting here and I hear these things, the table begins to rock underneath us, and the Tazimeter seems to react with electric signals. And the final message.
Never gone.
Never gone.
What does that mean? Never gone.
Give you up? Is that what that says?
Yes.
And is the next one let you down? Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
But I felt that the celestial event came through so clearly. I think that's and never gone. It is, I don't know, is that someone trying to speak to us from the past, from the great beyond, that they're never gone? It could mean anything. I don't know, and I think I might be overcome by the fumes at this moment, but the table has been rocking back and forth and shudders to a stop. And I'm exhausted. I fall back in a bit of a faint and see what this might mean on the reactions of everyone's faces.
Now, as you kind of begin to faint, I'd like to throw something in here really quick. We've been watching the shadows dancing on the walls in the light that is being cast by the Tazimeter. And some of these shadows begin to take almost a three-dimensional shape. And most of them are all behind Bill. They kind of peel themselves a little bit off of the walls, just a little bit. And these shapes all kind of begin to form into one that stands behind Bill. And then just kind of dissipate right after that. So those of you that were looking in that direction, that would be pretty much everybody except for Bill. Bill's pretty much unaware of this, but you do see them staring behind you. And as you turn around, you see this kind of smoky, shadowy form that just looks human-esque in appearance, but just kind of floats away as smoke.
Well, God damn it, I told you that I didn't want to do this. And, you know, there got to be a bunch of people wherever you end up that aren't real happy with me. And I think y'all should probably go. This is just what I was afraid of.
I hear you say this, but do you realize that the success that we just encountered, this is an actual physical manifestation
Of people that I killed that want to get back at me.
Yes.
I don't know that I would refer to that as a success, Doctor.
We've broken through this dimension. We've created some sort of portal of some kind, even for just a moment.
Of souls, tortured souls that would like to have revenge.
I'm sorry, that's not important. Do you realize how important it is that we've created a physical manifestation from another world, from another dimension?
I'm afraid that
space.
I don't see the importance of that, Doctor. I think it. I don't know. I just need some time. Let's. Can we wrap this up?
Well, I hate to say this, but, you know, I don't know if you've looked down at the tablecloth recently.
Yeah, I knew it. And this was a bad idea.
I'm really sorry, Bill.
I got a lot to think about, and I should probably consider moving on again after all this. Yeah, that's not good. I just kind of in a daze, just kind of wander over to a bench away from the group and just kind of sit down and in my own thoughts.
Well, Bill, I don't know. I don't know what the messages meant. I know they don't sound good. I don't know what this celestial event and the power have to do with anything, but I don't know if anything Miss Tipple said resonated with you, but I think we need you in this town.
Well,
many are coming. How can we stand up to them with the best shot in the West?
We need your skills.
well, I don't know what my skills, if that's what you can call them, are going to do you much good if some shadow devil thing drags me off to hell for what I did.
Oh, you have no need to worry about that. That was just a momentary demonstration. There's nothing going to grab you and take you off to hell or anything like that.
It sure felt different to me, Doc.
Well, I'm sorry you felt that way.
It's a great answer.
Bill, if anybody is capable of helping to save this town, I have to believe it's you. You've proven that. I mean, with your past can be forgiven, so what? You do things, you accomplish things. You have to help. Miss Tipple, your name is Alice?
Alice Frazier from Chicago.
I mean,
Elias, I'm sorry I lied to you.
That's just so much to process tonight. Alice, Miss Tipple, what do you want me to call you? I'm sorry. It's fine, but something brought you here, and something brought you here, Bill. I mean, we're all here for a reason, right? There's got to be something more than just sitting around and talking and holding hands. I mean, there was a message here. Something's happening, and we have to stop it. We can't do it on our own. We have to stop it together. Right?
Right. We can't do it alone. I couldn't do it alone. I've got to atone for what happened with the marshal. And I think we can do it.
Bill, you've got to atone for your past. Perhaps this is a chance for you to do something good.
I just don't know if more killing's the answer to so much killing already.
Elias, it sounded to me like you were attempting to rally either the group or more specifically Bill.
Yeah, I would say I'm falling, so probably try to enforce my will. I want to force him to stay and join.
And you can make a flat move when you are falling. So you can either do a so you can either do a rally or you can do a condemn. But it sounded more like a rally to me.
Yeah.
So why don't you make a roll against Bill to attempt to rally him? So that's a morality roll.
Oh, and I got 0.
So do I roll that as well, or?
No, you're the recipient of that. So again, you get to make a choice whether you concede or stand up against him.
Elias rolled a 9.
A 9, okay.
Well, a 4 and a 5. So yes, I did the math.
And you've got a +0 on that, right?
+0, which keeps it at a 9 if you do the math.
All right. So really, it comes to me to narrate it, but there's not much to narrate. But you do feel the heartfelt need from Elias Bill to try to push what happened tonight aside and maybe do your best to assist maybe not just this group, but the town as a whole. He maybe has appealed to your sense of duty in that respect. So again, it's up to you whether or not, and you don't have to decide tonight either. This may be something that you may want to sit on and contemplate before you decide to move forward on it. But if you do decide to concede, then you may gain another arc for doing so.
Okay. I do think I'll sit on that.
And then that brings us to, where do we go from here?
So where do we go from here?
Well, we need a plan.
Sorry.
If lots of people are coming, Lillian said many people are coming here. We don't know if that means the Coyote Gang or a whole new group of wanderers. Plus we got the cholera thing going on. That can spread very quickly if we're not careful.
Did you say people, or was it just they, or?
Many are coming.
So that doesn't necessarily mean people. I mean, that could be the souls that are coming to get me. That could be anything.
My telegram suggests that there's at least one person that I'm not looking forward to meeting come into town. Are we safe up here?
It's a good vantage point above town. That's why I picked it to begin with. But considering what I saw tonight, I don't know if can you be safe anywhere? Can it, if it's people, this is a good place to defend. But if it's tortured souls, I don't know if this is any better than any place else.
It is a church. Run
Touche.
down as it may be. Dr. Julius,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on this matter?
Look, my main concern is to get out to the desert and build this tesimeter as quickly as possible. I really don't want to get caught in the local politics of the town.
I think you're caught in that whether you want to or not, Doc.
Well, if I can help out in any way, I'm happy to help out. But I'd like to get back to the research as soon as I can.
Dr. Randolph, you've used your machine at least one time to conduct a beam of light into the eyes of part of the Coyote Gang. I saw you that day at the funeral,
Yes.
after the funeral.
Well, that was quite simple. That was
And
like
that-
anybody could do that with like a pocket watch.
Can you do anything? Can you build something that will be stronger, like a weapon that maybe the Coyote Gang wouldn't be able to fight against? They're pretty good with their guns.
I could attempt it, but it could be very dangerous for us as well. The problem is the power of electricity is very hard to harness and focus. But we could give it a go.
Well, what kind of supplies would you need?
I would need coils, I would need metal, I would need wire. All things that we could find locally. We could do it. It would be something like a bomb, an electrical bomb.
Well, there's plenty of old junk up here at the ranch. You could take a look around in the morning and see what we got.
We could do it, but again, I'd rather use that time to build the device. But if you need my assistance for this, I'm fine. I will help you with it. It would be a bomb, but it would create sort of an electromagnetic pulse that would go outwards. That's why it could be dangerous. Anybody in the vicinity, it could harm or do something else to. It's unpredictable.
So it would be better if we were outside of town, correct? Away from
Well,
bystanders.
you would have to clear out everyone, including anyone that you didn't want harmed by the blast, by the pulse.
So
I've
either
never
we-
tried anything on this scale. It's theoretical at this point. It could work. It could work.
Can't think of many things that would draw a huge number of people out to the outskirts of town, far from the city lights. Except
And then
maybe,
keeping the people in town that you would want to be affected by the blast.
right. Only some incredible astronomical event of interest to the general public could entice people to take their picnics to the outside of town, far from the city lights.
But I assure you it's dangerous. My partner, Jonathan, my research partner, was killed by such a blast in my laboratory.
Very sorry to hear that.
I'm just letting you know the danger of this. I'm not asking for your sympathy.
Well, if you're willing, I think it's something we ought to try.
Okay.
What did those spirits mean about celestial? What's going to happen?
That may take some research.
And my guess it is also connected to those spirits you saw behind Bill trying to push into this world that we created with the tesimeter. The we created a connection to another world that could perhaps be celestial as well. Or as you said, Bill, it could be devils from hell.
That's my guess.
Doctor, you chose this spot for your experiment because of its exposure to the sun.
Yes.
That makes the Tazometer more powerful?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is just what you see here is phase 1. Actually, it's phase 2. It's my first phase. The first phase 1 was done in Edison's office, but this is phase 2. Phase 3 would be the one in the desert, which would be 100 times as big as this one. That would capture the power of the sun and, well, I hope create a rift in the space and time.
Are you
It's
talking about
theoretical,
a
of course.
time machine?
No. Well, I don't know what the rift would do. A portal, so to speak. We saw it here. You saw it happen behind Bill.
Jules Verne
That was-
sort of things, right?
That was a little step in the right direction, shall we say.
Lillian, with this additional power, would you have a clearer message from the spirits?
It's possible, but I feel like the work needs to be done here. That this problem is of this world. But the additional power from the spirit might shift the entire outcome.
Well, that's a lot to think about.
I feel like we've kind of moved to a point where there has to be some thought that has to be put into this from all angles. Those of you that came in from town, are you planning to go back tonight or just camp out here for the evening and move back in the morning?
I gotta go back tonight.
Yes, I don't feel particularly comfortable spending the night on the floor of an old church.
Bill says don't knock it till you try it. So do you feel like you want to adjourn for the evening and then regroup at some point?
Probably.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. And then you're going to have to traverse back through the cave then to get back home.
Over all
Yes.
the cat bodies.
baby cat bodies.
And Mama Cat, too.
And mama cat.
That's true.
Right there in front of the cave.
Well, Bill, what do you want to do at this point?
I'm still kind of in a daze. I really just kind of see the folks from town off and wish them well and agree to talk to him tomorrow. But he's pretty shaken by the shadowy figure behind him earlier, and he's really just kind of in a daze, not paying a lot of attention to much, not saying much, really just kind of lost in thought, and not that doesn't have much to offer right now.
So as you are seeing them out, we'll say maybe that you open the front door to the church to let them out. And as you do, you hear a voice in the distance that says, "Bill McLean, is that you, boy?"
Well, shit. Yeah.
Huh. Don't know that I'd recognize you under that beard. And you see standing in front of you this fellow right here.
Rolling hazard.
And that'll be the cliffhanger for our next adventure. So where we are right now, that puts us, we kind of finished a meeting chapter. This kind of puts us into the test. So we're kind of rolling into a conflict scene here. So that's where we will probably pick up the next time around. And then we will, since we are moving into that next chapter, we don't have to do this tonight, but I want you to kind of think about what your motivations are moving forward, and then we will tackle that at the beginning of the next session just to see how our motivations have now changed and how that will affect us. Now, Bill, you are currently rising at level 4?
3, I think.
3. Okay. Does anybody else have 3 or more at this point?
I have a
Either
quick
way.
question about
Yeah,
mine
yeah.
real quick. Because we didn't add I think, what was it? Instinct. I mean, the role is the role.
Right.
It's the
Right.
story is done, but I don't know where I'm at now on my art because of that.
You're still
Or
at a
if I'm
-1 because
still -1.
you rolled pretty low, if I remember correctly. So even if you had a +1 or a +2,
Okay.
it wouldn't have gotten you to a 7.
Okay, that's what I wanted to
so,
clarify
yeah.
in my head. Sounds good.
Yep, you're still a -1 right now. Now, I will say let's go ahead, and since we are moving into a next chapter, so I don't forget about it next time, we can add a plot point for everybody for moving into the next chapter.
I think only one person has spent their plot points, right? Maybe 2.
Me, both of them.
Yeah, you spend them pretty quick too.
Well, I had secrets.
And again, as a general reminder, at any point during the story, you can spend a plot point to add to the narrative. And it's not necessarily to overcome a conflict. If you want to add a conflict at that point, you may do so. But you can spend that plot point to add to the narrative. Now, we've been doing a pretty good job of just role-playing it all out. And when I have felt like there's a conflict that is kind of arising, I've brought that to your attention. But if you really want to add a non-player character or another plot issue, that just kind of presents itself through the storytelling, feel free to spend those plot points now that they're starting to kind of roll in. You can change the story as we go. Okay, that was fun. I like where that went tonight. So now we get to see a little bit more of the Coyote Gang, I think, moving into the next chapter and see where that takes us. So anybody have anything else they want to address tonight?
Christy, I love your special effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
great.
no rules in here for me to give plot points for props or scenic elements or anything like that, but I kind of feel like I should give you a plot point for all of the,
That was
the
amazing.
stuff you added
It
in.
was like a real show.
Yeah. So if nobody objects, I'm giving Christy an extra plot point there.
It's got my vote.
Do it.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Chris. That was a great night. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Have a good night. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. See you.